court appeal in that case. When I was leaving, I was on the highway, and I said, something feels like we're driving on a car machine. It was a federal highway. And the guy who was driving said that's because there's 22 inches of asphalt on this highway. On the Mass Pike, there's 4 inches. Okay? Why are there 22 inches? You and I paid for it. Coal companies said it costs about $10 million a mile for every inch. Why are there 22 inches? Because the coal companies. Well, that's one of the hidden costs of coal that you don't see when you're paying your phony electric bill that pretends coal is cheap. Right? It's the most hideous, expensive way ever devised to boil a pot of water if we were actually paying the true cost, on our meters. But they're skilled at hiding and stealing all these costs from us. They're just killing our country. And, I flew over the Appalachian Mountains since I was leaving. I've flown over it many times. But I flew up the Cumberland Plateau. And we're literally cutting down the Appalachian Mountains. Literally cutting them down with these giant machines called draglines. They're 22 stories high. They cost $500 million to run machines. They practically dispense what they need for human labor, which is indeed the point. When my father was fighting strip mining in Appalachia back in the 1960s, I remember a conversation I had with him when I was 14 years old, where he said to me, they're not just destroying the environment, they're permanently impoverishing these communities because there's no way that they can ever regenerate the economy from these barren wastelands that are behind these moonscapes. And they're doing it, he told me, to break the union. And that's exactly what happened. When he told me that, there were 146,000 unionized mine workers in West Virginia digging coal out of tunnels in the ground. Today, there are fewer than 11,000 miners left in the state, and only half of them are unionized. And they're taking more coal out of West Virginia than they were in 1968. The only difference is that back then they were leaving at least some of that money in the state for, to enrich the economies, the local communities, salaries and pensions, etc. Today, virtually all we go straight out to Wall Street, to Arch Coal, even called Massey Coal Systems, and the big banking house, Bank of America, and Citibank, which are on these operations. 95% of the coal in West Virginia is owned by Wall Street, banking houses, not the people in the state. And they're cutting down, they're liquidating the state for cash, using these giant machines and 2,500 tons of ammonium nitrate explosives they detonate every day in West Virginia. It's the equivalent of a Hiroshima bomb once a week. They're blowing the tops off the mountains to get the coal seams beneath. Then they take the rock and debris and rubble and they scrape it into the adjacent river valley and they bury the rivers. According to EPA, and I talked to Lisa Jackson yesterday about mountaintop removal, there are now 2,000 miles of rivers and streams that have been permanently buried by mountaintop removal. The 500 biggest mountains in the state have been cut down and flattened. Within 6 years, they'll have flattened an area the size of Delaware. It's all illegal. You cannot, in the United States of America, take rock and debris and rubble and dump it into a waterway without a Clean Water Act permit. And we can never get a permit to do such a thing. So we sued them, and yesterday again, I spent my morning with Joe Lovett, who was the lead attorney on our case. We sued him in front of a conservative Republican federal judge, Judge Charles Hayes. And he said, Judge Hayes said the same thing I did. He said it's all illegal. It's been illegal since day one. And he enjoyed all mountaintop mining. 2 days before we got that decision, lobbyists for Arch Coal and Massey Coal met in the back door at Gail Norton's Interior Department with her first Deputy Chief, Stephen J. Griles, who was a former lobbyist for Massey Coal people and who is now serving a 10.5 month jail sentence in federal penitentiary. But too late for the mountaintop. And Griles and them rewrote, and these lobbyists rewrote one word of the Clean Water Act, the definition of the word bill, changed 30 years of statutory interpretation, and make it legal not just in West Virginia, but every state now, to dump rock, debris, rubble, garbage, any kind of solid fuel into any waterway in the United States without a Clean Water Act permit. All you need today is a rubber stamp permit from the Corps of Engineers, which in some districts you can get over the telephone with a form. So these are the costs of coal. Okay, these are the costs of coal. When you build that solar plant, you get free energy forever. Now, here's the economics. We use 1,000 gigawatts in this country of energy a year. 500 of those are carbon-based, and they need to be replaced. It will cost us, building plants like mine, or building wind farms, which cost about the same, about $3 billion a gigawatt. It will cost us $1.3 trillion to replace all that carbon energy and to give us free energy forever in this country. $1.3